Hello everyone, welcome to the Continental Tire Dinner for Racers Cup. We are live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Today we have a very special one for you after the craziness of the LMP1s running around Bristol a couple of weeks ago. Today we are, like I said, on the famous brickyard for this race, and we have one of the most underpowered cars in the world of iRacing, the beautiful Skip Barber. And as you can hear, I am not alone in the broadcast booth today. I am honored to be joined by Helio Castroneves' teammate, Ricky Taylor, and the Copy Machine brand ambassador, Jordan Taylor. Hello, guys.
Hello. Looking forward to today's race.
Where are you from, Marco? You have a very strong accent.
I am from Italy, so I'm sure you know Italians very well, being having been teammates with an Italian driver for many years. So hopefully you can understand me as the day goes along.
Now, it's too bad it's not a video feed, because I'm sure you're talking a lot with your hands during the commentary.
I do that a lot. I point at the screen, I move my hands and make gestures, and no one can see me. But hopefully, I do a good job, because I've been doing this for the past year and a bit, and I haven't been fired by Alex so far. So hopefully it still works. And also, it also happens this to be my favorite car on iRacing. So I absolutely know very well on how to crash it and the various damage that you can do. And I think that is going to be an important part of the proceedings, because we are expecting 5 wide and more. And thankfully, because all this is done in good fun, damage will be turned off, because we actually want to have drivers finishing the race, and damage was turned on for the Bristol LMP1 race a couple of weeks back, and that didn't go very well, even though it was fantastic. So, Indianapolis not a part of the IMSA calendar anymore. I think the last time there was 2014, and of course this is on the oval, but for you guys, I would imagine this place is absolutely one of the best racetracks in the world, and the oval especially doesn't need to have any kind of introduction. Certainly the spiritual home of oval racing in North America.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely iconic. We never got to race on the oval, especially with both of us did a lot of Skip Barber racing, and at the Speedway, this is going to be something special, I think.
We're on board right now with number 21, Tobias Harper. Monica Monaco logo. There's something on the front that I can't see. It's someone's picture.
It's on the center of his face. Is it?
We might have to get a new camera angle just to zoom in on it. We are already 4 wide just in practice. Guys like to party.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, in Bristol, like I said a couple of weeks back, there were some absolutely fantastic moments, and of course there was the issue when there was a crash. You could have like a Porsche 919 and Audi R18 LMP1 bouncing all over the track, and then it would be hit by another car and be sent basically into lower orbit. Like today, the track is a bit wider, but I'm still expecting, it doesn't take much to spin these cars. Just a little wheel-to-wheel contact, and there you go. And when you are 4 or 5 wide, things can go bad in an instant. As you can see, I think they are also using this practice session to get a feel. Of how many cars can fit into one corner. I think it's going to be very tricky to make them stick, but it can be done. It can absolutely be done. And I'm told, even though sadly damage is off, but from my experience, without front wings, this car goes faster, but no damage today. And also, of course, limited fuel for today, and so pit stops will be required. And whilst you don't need tires with this car, because it has concrete tires, you need fuel, that is for sure. 25% fuel. Yes, that's basically very, very little fuel available. So they will have to come into the pits 2 or 3 times, I think. And of course, coming into the pits is not easy when you are like 4 or 5 wide. And you can come on the pits just here on the straight. But when you come out of the pits, you have to do all the little access road and come out of basically on the backstretch if you want to avoid having a penalty. One thing also to consider: this car really works well in the draft, so we might see some massive runs despite not being that powerful, and we could see once again, I'm expecting some drafting fest all over the shop today, and like I said, drivers already making some. Also, the cautions will be admin controlled, so they are going to throw the caution if necessary. So we won't have a caution for every little spin and things like that. But from what I'm getting, only the big ones will warrant a caution today.
It is interesting you mentioned the draft. There hasn't been a whole lot of teaming up, it looks like. It's kind of one big mush at a time. And definitely a lot of 4 and 5 wide action.
Who are you liking so far, Marco? Who do you think is going to be the strong contenders here?
I remember from last week, from a few weeks back, we had the race winner there. That was Matt Szynoski and Garrett Conrad. I think they showed up today, so I'm backing them. Matt Szynoski and Garrett Conrad. But
I'm sorry, your accent's so beautiful, I can't even understand it.
But I don't see them in the top 20 so far. So
maybe they're just playing the long game.
Yeah, I mean,
just want to show up in the race.
It's also tough to get a finger on who's got the pace in practice because of how big the drafting is. I would say maybe. I would go maybe for Tobias Harper or Jeff Gross. I think those two could be the names that I would put. If I was a betting man, I would put money on them. But honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty exciting, especially with the admin-controlled yellows. I think it's going to come down to the last restart. Probably going to be a lot of mayhem on every restart, but I think survival will be the key and stay on the lead lap because I can almost guarantee there's going to be a late race yellow.
Oh yes, absolutely, especially, yeah. Go ahead.
What performance do you think you would put into the Penske?
Well, I have to say that right now I am wearing a Team Penske shirt, so I might be biased on that. But I think that will give you the answer you wanted. So now it's a Brett Keselowski shirt because it's not easy to get hang of North American merchandise around here, but so NASCAR of course is the way to go. But
I think Keselowski is Polish, so it's kind of European.
Yeah, very, very close to. Well, of course, a lot of big Polish, percentage of population here in Italy. So a couple of friends from there, and of course, every time I go around in that shirt, they say, "Is that a shirt from someone from Poland?" I say, "Well, sort of,
I've seen a couple Ronnie Sandstorm schemes so far. I think there was one Fonzie one I saw on Twitter. Here's a Penske one we're looking at right now. Marble, or is that?
That could be
McLaren.
I would definitely say Team Penske.
What number is that now? 36.
This is a strong little pack here. We've got Lee Lucas,
See, these guys are driving smart here. They're bump drafting. The guy on the outside can somehow stay in the
That's Penske. They prepare every little detail down to perfection. Well, we haven't gotten it yet.
Looks like we're coming down to 3.5 minutes left to go in practice. Then we'll be going into the last 5 minutes. We're pretty wide now.
This is anything but team.
Yeah, they're not racing too smart here.
Oh,
Camouflage.
This is
guy.
Alex Rips.
yeah, it's going to be 5 minutes of qualifying, so don't have a lot of time. I would guess and hope it's a single car qualifying, because otherwise that would be messy. I remember NASCAR trying multi-car qualifying on super speedways a few years ago, and that did not go well, if I'm not mistaken. You can see the bump drafting really aggressive. Once again, you need to do all the practice you can in practice, because then in the race when you try some moves, you want to be sure that they are going to work. Like, man, this is, for example, very, very risky, but they made it work somehow.
Yeah, I mean the iRacing has the spotters, but I don't think the drivers are really listening to them right now.
No, especially on the ovals. It's especially when you are hitting such high speeds. Not only sometimes you forget about the spotter, but it might be just a fraction of a second behind from what's happening. So sometimes it's really not very useful, especially, it would be nice to have triple monitors or virtual reality. Sometimes can really help you, because you can look around you, even though technically I don't think you could in real life, because you would be well strapped into your seat, whilst here you can basically take a look around just like you are, without any kind of restraint. But still, and everything that avoids crashes could be useful today. But apparently, as 2 minutes and a half left, and timing, you can see drivers getting their last few laps in, as we have a beautiful here Benetton livery. Oh man!
Oh, big one there.
Yeah. Wow, very. Look how strong the car is. Not a dent on it.
That's number 34. I think that's James Gouda.
Or Gouda.
Or Gouda.
Or is it after the cheese?
or Gouda.
Gouda cheese. Have some information on. Oh, are we? Oh no, we're coming down to the last minute of practice here. So I'm surprised we don't see more single car runs in practice just to get a qualifying permit. They're all just seem to be preparing for the race, but. Yeah.
Good, great point.
Thank you. Oh, we're on board with the Rodney Mobile in reverse.
This could be a race for maybe for next season, like Indianapolis in reverse with the skipping. Look at that, he's having a great run. Look at that.
Yeah, this reverse gear is actually way faster than I would expect.
Got someone coming up on him.
They're face to face right now. Toe to toe. Is it toe to toe? That was Tyler Tucker, yes. Tyler Tucker in the number 15 car.
Lives in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Studied at University.
So, practice is over. Let's switch to qualifying then. 5 minutes, as you can see. And once again, I'm hoping and thinking it's going to be a single car qualifying, as we have first cars coming onto the racetrack. This will be, for example, Alan's pace, as you can see, using a little bit more than the access road. Fine, you don't get a penalty for that, as long as you stay between the white lines. And here he comes, of course, first lap, probably even the second, will be used to get as much speed as possible, and then in the third, which is the second time lap, it's going to be the good one for you. And you can see, yes, it's a single car qualifying, as we switch to Lee Lucas here.
Lee Lucas is quick in practice, so we'll see how he is on his own.
Yeah, exactly. I think having a very simple paint scheme also will help you, because less stickers flying around.
Sure, very good.
Look at that! It's basically just this beautiful light blue color, which I really like.
Blue,
So on the bottom of your screen, in a second, the timing will come out, and you can follow the drivers as they go through their lap, and as more times are get done by the drivers, more laps get completed. You get qualifying on the left side of your screen and a reference on how the drivers are doing on the bottom compared to their best lap, their personal lap, and to the overall best lap as we run on board. As you can see, trying to get as close as possible to that curve. And here we go, down the gears, 5th gear, 191 kilometers per hour. And
what's that in America?
Well, that's a good question.
I'll have to get my converter out for all of our Americans.
Definitely a very wide arc here. You know, all the road, keeping the car very free. Although that Skip Barber car makes a lot of downforce, definitely still need to use all the road.
Number 4.
Super smooth.
Yeah, you need to make it as the more you don't turn the wheel and the quicker you are, you scrub off as little speed as possible, and here we go. The first times are going in. Hefner is on provisional pole, Witten in second, Gross and Stillman, then Parker in 5th. And Conrad jumps to second. It's a complete mess there on the left side of the screen, with all the times coming in basically at the same time. Look at this helmet, which is very out of the ordinary. Design split down the middle.
I just got a message from one of our analysts in the back that 191 kilometers an hour equals 118 miles per hour.
Okay, so basically a very, very fast baseball pitch.
Very fast.
You know, very fast.
Maybe a new record.
it could very well be.
We got Mark Hefner on
Here he comes. He's already on provisional pole. Will he improve on his time? He won't. Just a little bit slower than his best lap. Here comes week 1 winner Garrett Conrad as he's coming. So fast. Will he improve? He doesn't, so apparently the first lap is the good one, the second lap not as fast for many of these drivers, even though some of them, like Mark Schmiding, are improving. Here we have Alex Ripstein, also in a 1990s Penske color car. He's coming into turn 3 here.
How many guys do we have total in this race?
I think we have a lot of them. I would expect 41, yeah.
Wow. That's a big deal.
Is he running the apron line?
Is that legal? Wow.
Interesting.
Very innovative.
Oh,
that's it. We got.
Yes, no rest for these drivers. Straight onto the starting grid, and in just a second.
Race.
Yeah, and we will have the starting grid on your screen right now. Here we go. So Mark Hefner is in pole position. Benjamin Cox will start from second, and Mark Schmiding in third. Wes Shear is in fourth. In fifth, race 1 winner Garrett Conrad, then Tanner Witten, Tobias Harper and Jeff Gross. Then 9th and 10th we have Tyler Tucker and Tony Jones, Justin Parker and Justin Stillman in P11 and P12. After that, Alex Ripstein, Lee Lucas, Chris DeShong, Brody Iverson, Eric Muller, Alan Space, Davis Trask, and Chris Sweat in P20. And after that, as the grid scrolls through, P21, Steven Lavender, 22, Jason Skin, then James Gouda, and Andy Trupiano, Aaron Bean, Nicolas Isidro, Anthony Hyatt, P28 for the other winner in week 1 at Bristol with the LMP1s, that was Matt Shinowski. Then we have Noah Wheeler in P29, Lane Walker in 30th, then David Pauls, Brian Jabelski in 32nd place, then Ryan Cobb, Brandon Carl P34, P35 for Benjamin Wedge, then John Roberts in P36, also MX5 driver on Monday nights, Ironetics Racing TV, then DeMonte Dotson, Tyson Landis 38, then Sean Ekman, Jake Shilovsky, and I think Martin Smith. I think one of these guys towards the back of the pack that didn't set the time is our race steward, and he will not actually race, but do the race directing. So he is the guy in charge. And get ready, because we have a very long pace lap ahead of us with the skippies. Then we will be ready to go for this beautiful race. And look at the massive crowd that gathered today for this race, guys. I mean, this is Indy 500 style crowd, basically.
I think it's going to be quite the race ahead of us. This pace lap is going to take a while, though, so I think we might dip out quickly just for a quick commercial break. Susanna's bananas. Susanna has the best banana in all of Havana. And we're back. All right,
thank you, guys. Yeah.
We're 2 corners in here. And,
So, we are rolling, like we said. We thank you. Big thanks to our sponsor, of course, for this commercial break that really puts us into a fantastic race mood. 50 laps, the scheduled distance. So we can expect, I think, a couple of pit stops per driver, maybe more. We'll see how the fuel saving will come into play thanks to the massive slipstream and the drafting that there will be. So the pace car is in turn 3, then turn 4, then it will take the hard left into the pit lane, and we will be racing as someone is blinking a bit there with his internet issues, and that is always nice to have someone blinking in front of you before a pace car start on ovals.
looks like Mark Hepner is the Penske car. Looks like he's got a good jump.
Great jump. Everybody's really in line here.
Are we green flag?
Now we are.
Oh my gosh, is this race 2 hours 25 minutes?
No, that is like if we have like
time.
yeah, exactly, like unforeseen circumstances, which hopefully we won't have, as they are racing finally 50 laps of big fun, I would hope, as we are already 2 by 2 for the lead. Hefner and Schmiding, the 2 marks, fighting it out for first place.
Like Mark did not cover that inside line fast enough, and we've got someone coming down Ryan Hunt's race style. Oh my goodness!
Oh, here we go. This is not good. Oh man!
Halfway through lap 1.
Lap 1. Wow. Looks like we got just about everyone top of that.
Oh, some big hits all over the field. Let's see if the caution will be called or not. By the way, they are rolling very, very gently. I think we should have caution right now. The only way for us to know is to look at the caution lights, and they are on. So yes, already under caution after just, well, not even 1 lap, and that basically involved a good 60% of the field, basically. Oh yes. Now, luckily we don't have any lapped cars, so the caution won't last very long. That was the voice of Alex Simpson. I don't know if you heard that or not, because theoretically he is muted and he can only talk to us, but maybe he talked to you guys as well watching the broadcast. And yes, how much we love cautions. Luckily, well, I love doing oval races, but mostly we do road racing, so really we don't have, we are not very, trained to talk during cautions. But alas, here we go, and that is, a chance to unwind a bit, even though we only had one lap, and that is a bit, frustrating. I want to ask you guys, when you are racing in real life, and the tension of the race. Finally, the race starts, and first lap you get a crash and then a
Here's
caution.
a replay.
Yeah. So how frustrating is to go racing, and first lap the safety car gets pulled out, and you basically have to once again get into that mindset of getting ready to start and focusing once again.
Yeah, it is frustrating because you get kind of amped up all day waiting for the race to start, and then it gets going, and then instantly it goes yellow, so you got to get ready for a restart. But I think for these guys, obviously they're probably all happy to be alive after that big one, so they'll regroup. I don't know if they'll be going through the pits. Maybe they'll use this for some strategies, top up with fuel. But yeah, I think, there we see a little clip of it. Looks like two guys just got, wow. Quite the big one.
More Justin Stillman.
Fuzzy.
Oh,
He's got some Fuzzy
camera.
sponsorship. Maybe. Not a lot. But he rolled off cleanly. No dent.
No, looks like all good. Yeah, you went. Well, we have to tell, once again, to our many drivers are in the pits. You can see on the bottom of your screen all the drivers that come and go. We have to tell our viewers that for this particular round, we got some very strong and resisting skip barbers. I'm told that they are actually indestructible, so they should be okay for all that these drivers throw at them, big ones, stuff like that. And so basically, yes, everyone who went in the pits did so to top up with fuel, maybe clear their head a bit, because some of them got some pretty big hits in that crash, and they will be ready to go again in just, I think, we will go green next time by, judging by my experience with causing crashes on iRacing and being under caution on ovals. So if I think we should be good to go next time around, we'll have to take a look at the pace car and see when the pace car turns off the lights. That will be the signal that we are ready to go again.
Well, we might just take this opportunity to go to commercial break quickly, Marco, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
First, we have Ned's Meds. Ned's Meds. We recommend to take your meds before bed.
Also, Tom's Bath Bombs. Tom's Bath Bombs are the bomb. And we're back.
Thank you once again to our fantastic sponsors that are really supporting today's race, as the pace car lights are still on. So I think we are in for some more pacing, which is always interesting.
Really a long cleanup here required from that accident. It seemed like something had gotten out on the track from one of these Skip Barber cars. Obviously, 1992 RT2000 chassis, holding up well and providing a lot of safety for our drivers out there.
Yeah, this also gives, it's not 1992 old, not that old, but the Mustang pace car, has got a few years basically on its shoulders, as you can see. This is like I think this car is around 10 years or so old, and hasn't changed a bit since the early days of iRacing, whilst on the roadside we now have a brand new pace car. But I like this car, so long may it last as the official oval iRacing pace car, as its drivers.
It looked like there were quite a few guys jumping into the pit lane to top up with fuel, maybe check the cars over. But I did just notice there are actually two Penske cars here at the top four, Tobias Harper and Mark Hepner, and they might use that to their advantage bump drafting.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're on different roads, it looks like, but definitely get together and the way to come.
And in P3 we have actually 1998 style Chip Ganassi car with big number 1, of course, tribute to Alex Zanardi there, dominator in the kart series in those years. and I absolutely love that car and that livery. I'm not biased, despite being Italian. But yeah, I also might or might not have a die-cast model of that car, but once again, I'm not biased. As we are getting ready, and we will start double file, it looks like. Because I see the cars.
Restart. It's unfortunate that they don't get to pick their lanes, because I'm sure the Penske cars would have liked to line up front and behind each other, but it looks like they're in opposite columns, which should make it exciting, because they might want to jump across and hook up with each other.
Yeah, we can see also we have two semi-teammates, if you can look there in the back, because we have a 1980s Benetton and a 2006 Renault, but you know, effectively the same team out of the same shop in F1. You can see right now, so maybe they will work together as well. Two fantastic liveries.
Yes.
Of course, the older car, the 1980s car, full of Italian sponsors. So, once again, I'm not biased, but
maybe during one of the commercial breaks we'll have to talk to some of those sponsors.
Absolutely. So,
are we coming through 3 and 4 here, getting ready to go green?
Yes, we are. You can see the drivers getting ready. Everyone trying to find some pieces of real estate, as they are absolutely ready to go. They don't want to cause another crash, because these were 5 very, very long pace laps.
Oh no, we got cars around. Leaders playing games on the restart.
I think might have been a brake check there. We'll have to talk with race control about that.
And now we're green, so that was absolutely messy, as they are trying once again to sort themselves out. We stay green for the time being, as we have Alan's pace very, very slowly there. I think we are still green. Hopefully we are.
So it's hard to tell until they get to that top gear. Their acceleration from 1 to 3 isn't the most exciting, but once they hit 4th gear, actually these cars have 5 gears, which may be only used in the draft.
I'm afraid we are under caution by the way they are, you know, going semi-slowly through the backstretch. And once again, let's take a look at the caution lights, which should be there on the right side. Yes, I think we are under caution. We definitely, most definitely are.
The 2 hours and 50-minute time limit we discussed earlier in the show may come into play later in this race, as we have seen 2 cautions already in the first 6 laps.
You are absolutely right. Also, now that iRacing has you know, dynamic time of day, we have to be quick, because we might end up this race you know, under the floodlights that this track doesn't have, so it's going to be tricky. Of course, in 1 month's time we will have a night race at Moscow with the IndyCar in this championship, so you don't want to miss that. I have no idea how to commentate on that one, but I'm trying to work out something.
It will be tricky, because there's no lights on Indy cars, so they'll be very hard to see.
Yes, exactly.
I think Alexander Rossi, after seeing his video of Long Beach, could have a great shot at that. He did a full lap blindfold, so I believe the same sort of techniques can work out.
Yes, we are having some replays there of the crash, which brought out our second caution of the day. Oh man, that was close for comfort there for Alan Space, as he is coming out of the pits right now, and I think he is actually yeah, he's going to take the wave around more than likely, as everyone comes into the pits more or less, and for these drivers that didn't top up with fuel earlier, a chance to do so basically with, you know, just a few laps after the first caution.
Yeah, they're topping up with fuel now, but under all this yellow, I'm pretty sure everybody can go the whole distance, even though 25% fuel doesn't sound like much under these yellow conditions. They could be saving a lot of fuel.
Looks like Jack Shalosky might have decided to stay out, jumping up to P7 after not a great qualifying round.
And even though on the ovals, usually it's not how well you qualify, but how smart you are with your race pace and your race strategy, and also being this basically, single make race with basically fixed setup, because in the skip barbers you don't have a lot of things that you can do. Today probably it's going to go the way either of the luckiest driver or the most smart driver, or maybe a combination of both, because there's not much difference between the race cars, and the drivers will certainly take center stage today as other cars jump into the pits as we begin lap 9 out of 50. And I think that Alex Ripstein and Eric Müller will be the new 1-2 punch, and they will lead the cars. By the way, the two leaders have just set their best lap, and Benjamin Cox just had the fastest lap of the race, just to give you a perspective of how long we have been under pacing.
All right, well, let's just go through the field quickly. Our leader right now, Alex Ripstein, he's a male, born January 28th, 1991. So he just had a birthday this year and turned 28. He enjoys the Hunger Games, the Top Gun, the official Top Gun.
The Top Gun.
The Top Gun. He enjoys the Grand Tour, how it's made, and Letterkenny Problems. Not sure what that is, but it's a TV show. So that's a little bit about our leader. I know he's settled in there in his Penske colors, but that's a little bit about our guy, Alex Ripstein.
Yeah, it's nice to know the backgrounds of all these drivers, since we have more than 40 of them. Hopefully you guys are prepared to, any driver that could eventually get in first position, if we have other cautions, which I think we will have other cautions. But I hope that this, 400,000 plus fans in the grandstands today, they don't want the cautions, they want to have a proper race, and hopefully after this restart the drivers, admittedly this first restart I wouldn't even consider it a restart, because they got under caution.
Looks like we've got the leaders diving to pit lane.
Yes, we are.
Interesting strategy here. The top 5 hadn't pitted until this point, so they're going to go ahead and top up with fuel. Maybe they think they can go to the end from here.
Interesting strategy.
So Wedge is the new leader, Cox and Bean second and oh wow! Look at that!
Bounce off the pit wall.
Yeah, he's testing the car, and once again this goes to show how resistant these skippy cars that we picked for today's race are. Absolutely impossible to destroy, and this also, brings me to the point of why these cautions are so long, since these cars are indestructible. What did they leave on the track? Because unless some drivers had some food in their cockpit, and that got spread all over the racetrack in the crashes, I have no idea why we are pacing so much today.
Marco, well, during this yellow, I might jump us to commercial break if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Frankie's Blankies. If you get cranky, grab a Frankie Blankie. If you want to get involved in some hanky-panky, grab a Frankie Blankie. Frankie's Blankies. And we're back.
Thank you very much, Dan. Another fantastic sponsor supporting this broadcast today. Dinner with Racers, Continental Cup, round 2 of the season. Next time around, which it's a bit early to talk about that, but with 1/5 of the race already in the books, and admittedly, of pacing in the books already, we will be running around the Detroit streets, Belle with the NASCAR Cup cars. So it's going to be interesting.
That will be something.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are ready to go racing next time by. You see the calendar there. the IndyCar at Motorsport night, like I was saying earlier, then Williams F1 at Eldora, then on the September race will be the NASCAR and GT3 multi-class race, we don't know where, then the big enduro of the MX-5s, that is going to be something running around Talladega, and of course don't forget the final race of the season, fans' choice, so pick a good race, please. Okay.
Like we're settling in for another double file restart here. Guys are getting in order.
They are. Hopefully no games will be played by the cars that are in the lead. Everyone can have a good, clean getaway, and we hopefully will have at least one lap under green, which I remind you, we still haven't had a full green lap so far this afternoon, or this morning, depending on where you are in the world.
I think we got James Gouda up into the top 15, or actually just dropped back to 16th. He comes from Gaborone, Botswana. Not sure where that is, but he went to Maple Hill High School. He studied at Hudson BCC, and his hometown is Albany, New York. He's also a male. And it looks like we're about to get going green here.
Absolutely. Seems like we're ready to go. We had two marks in the lead to start the race. Now we have Benjamin Wedge and Benjamin Cox, who is taking it, a little bit of space. He wants to see when that leader goes. Always tough to do so, especially if we are in a single monitor setup. Pace car is in, and these guys can push whenever they want. Right now they don't have to wait for the green flag.
Here we
they
go.
are waiting, and
Wow.
Here we go.
And they fan right out. And you know what they say about cautions, right, Jordan?
Cautions make caution babies.
Absolutely, they do. And hopefully these guys can keep it clean here. And,
It's like a pretty clean coming through turn one. Definitely a cleaner start than usual. Looks like aqua blue except for the side.
yeah, I think it's good, slippery paint scheme there. A little loose off the two, though.
Benjamin Wedge out front. Got a nice looking touch of the second lead, but everyone else is just fucking hard behind him.
They are trying to sort themselves out as they go into turn 3. Will we have... Well, we are going very slowly. So I guess we have a caution.
Oh, there they go, two in the back.
Oh.
Over the
It's gotta go.
Well, in the pre-race briefing, I got some notes from race direction, and they told us that caution periods are not being controlled. Only throw yellows when we see fit, not for everything. But so far, we've had yellows for everything.
Yeah.
It looks like Benjamin Wedge has not slowed down under yellow and has a solid 4-second lead under this yellow.
Just a little bit about Benjamin Wedge. Comes from Alpena, Michigan, currently resides in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Born in 1988, he does not have any particular religious views or political views. That's a little bit about our current leader.
Absolutely, Jordan. So that, maybe due to his clear mind and open thought process has really allowed him to open up that gap here.
I think on the side he does a little bit of data analysis for IMSA. Good guy. Looks like he's trying to catch up to the pace car here. Looks like we're going to have another long yellow ahead of us. Bit of a cleanup. Even though there's no damage, we're not in his face. Quite a bit of
And enough. So, hi.
gotta respect it.
Have respect. Hi. Take care of it.
So, we are actually running the risk of having the entire race under caution. So far, once again, no green flag laps have been recorded. And once again, the pace car driver getting his money's worth today, as we see the leaders heading for the pits Gotta be careful not to make any passes there. Look how tightly bunched they are. As we have 5, 6, 7 cars in the pits right now. I'm expecting more, especially in the back of the field. Basically, you don't lose anything by pitting now, and considering how things are going, they might get away with only one stop, considering how many caution laps we are having. As you can see the view from up high, this is our leader Mark Effner. Tanner Witten is in second, trying to get another win after his LMP1 at Bristol Triumph last month. Wes Shear, Justin Parker, Mark Schmiding up to P5, who was fighting for the lead in the first lap, and then of course through the pit
We haven't
cycle.
seen a whole lot of Lee Lucas yet today. They're sitting in the 7th spot. He was quickest in free practice. Maybe just biding his time a little bit there.
Yeah, and I'm sure he would like to have some green flag to maybe show off his pace, which he hasn't had today. Look at the track temperature, 46 degrees Celsius. That is 105 Fahrenheit more or less. So very, very hot. No wind, so track is hot, but yeah. Go ahead.
We got Justin Karcher up into the top 5 now. He comes from Clackamas, Oregon. Currently resides in Canby, Oregon. Speaks English. He is a male, and he's currently in a relationship with somebody. But he's a former technician for a Chevrolet company, which is awesome. There's a little bit more information about him, but I don't think he wants us sharing that too publicly. But seems like a good guy. So I'm cheering for him. Top 4 right now. Justin Karcher.
Okay, so once again, we have the drivers under the pace car, and Tobias Harper in the pits together with Brian Japelski as well, and a bunch of other drivers you can see on the bottom of your screen as the blimp now switching to the TV cameras once again. And Lee Lucas, once again, we talked extensively about his very clean paint scheme, which probably helped him in getting the fastest lap of the practice session. But so far, he hasn't been able to express that same pace in the race because of the many cautions that we have had under our third caution of the day. Do we have a sponsor for the cautions? Because if we had, they would be very, very happy considering we are in our third, and I think we will have many more in the next few laps.
All right, Marco, since we're under another yellow, we might take this chance to go to a quick commercial break if that's all right.
Absolutely.
This commercial break is brought to you by Stone Cold Steve Boston.
And we're back.
Well, as a big wrestling fan, I approve of this commercial. So thank you very much to the sponsors as well. And we are back live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, lap 15 out of 50. This is the Continental Tire Cup dinner with racers for the second round of the season. And once again, like you said, we are under caution for the third time today. These drivers are really they cannot wait to go green. That when they go green they crash immediately, even though this third caution was caused by a crash in the back of the field that probably we could have been avoided this caution, but whatever, that's the race control decision, and we are absolutely in love with race direction, and we agree with everything they do.
The interesting part here is these drivers probably did not anticipate this race being an endurance race, so they may not have emptied their bladders and stomachs before the race, so they might be dying for a bathroom break at some point. And often in the race car in real life, guys will urinate on themselves, but I don't believe these guys will like to do that sitting in their homes right now.
But I mean, really, if you could put yourself in Mark Hefner's position here, would you sacrifice your.
I would pee on myself. He's leading the race. At this point, it could go caution till the end, so he's gonna want to maintain that track position.
Track position is key. I mean, the yellows have been falling here so far, but
looks like we're setting up for a green flag here on this at the end of this lap. Penske's still leading it. Who do we got? P2 number 25, followed by 48. Must be a Jimmy Johnson fan. Yeah, looks like we're getting to go green here, Marco.
Yes, we are. We have, I think, I don't know if it's the Spencer Pompelli in the chat, but if it is the Spencer Pompelli, I'm a big fan of him as well. So, thank you for joining us in the race chat. You can follow. And yes, here we go. Turn 4.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, hopefully we can complete a green lap.
If we're able to do 10 green laps in a row, I will buy every one of these drivers a Super Saiyan.
So pace car is in, and we are racing once again at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Ski Barbers are out to play today. Down to the first corner.
More strung out than the last restart. Hopefully that keeps a little bit cleaner.
I mean, these drivers, I'm thinking that they don't want to get another caution. They want to at least get some laps in. Also to get a feel for their setups in race situations, as they are 3 wide for the lead straight away, and they are heading into the backstretch. Look at that.
It looks like some guys going below the white line down the back straight.
I am told
4 or 5 wide up front.
Yeah, I am told that there are no rules, so should be okay. 4 wide. Now back to 3 wide for the race lead. No, it's 4 wide.
up in the gray there.
Gotta respect those tires.
The problem is then when they come out of the corner.
Oh!
Nice,
Great, fantastic
save, great save.
What a save! Absolutely amazing.
That's the orange car. Not sure who that is.
Is that not Justin Parker? Throwback Alex Nardi Ganassi car?
Oh, that is Justin Parker. I think we had some information on him.
I believe we did. No matter what, that was a fantastic save, and really great to see our first full green lap.
That was fun.
Lee Lucas. Like, oh wow! That was so close to disaster. Second and third and fourth. Banking wheels.
The race didn't give us a whole lot of information about himself, but he is a male and he does like the Grand Canyon. A little bit about him.
On board with Tanner Wheaton here in the Ganassi car, pushing the race leader, no, former race leader, Lee Lucas, to get back Justin Parker in the lead.
He is getting aggressive.
Oh, no!
Justin Lucas did nothing wrong.
Tanner Witten, back to Illinois, walking
Maybe
off.
this is actually on Pablo Montoya throwback in the green, and not
Alex
Alex
Oh, we got another one turned around the back. That's a classic Skip Barber paint scheme on that one. Man, are we going to go yellow here? Unbelievable.
I think we are yellow, yes. That was a...
I was just about to give you some information on Tanner Witten, who we were on board with there when he turned around the leader. Tanner Witten, born on October 5th, enjoys a nice In-N-Out burger, but looks like he's not going to be getting any In-N-Out anytime soon. Mr. Tanner Witten.
So, under caution for the 4th time, as the cars are lining up behind the pace car once again. This is lap 19 out of 50. And
looks like I don't have to buy any chicken sandwiches for anybody at this point. My deal was 10 laps of green, and that's out to all the drivers and anybody in the chat. Like everyone's gonna have to go to the mill after this race.
well, I had a chicken sandwich for lunch, but I am perfectly fine with the offer. So hopefully these drivers can pull this off. Which is, maybe a bit of a stretch, all things considered, how the race is going right now, but you never know. you never know. Sometimes the drivers sort themselves out.
Oh wow! Looks like everyone's taking this opportunity to come to pit lane.
Will somebody stay out just to get that track position like we talked about, or is this some sort of a bathroom break?
It could be a full grid bathroom break. We'll see if the cars don't move for a while.
Look at how many drivers are coming in. That is absolutely crazy. The amount of drivers that are joining the pits. As you can see, some drivers are staying out, but I think like 80% of the field has come in for the stop.
We got some people doing tires. Interesting move there.
Well, they must not have been respecting their tires in the first 19 laps of this race.
I mean, a big track like Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you gotta respect them.
Gotta respect the tires. Looks like we got Brody Iverson out front right now. Studied at Rock Valley College. Currently lives in Rockford, Illinois. He's a male and he speaks English. A little bit about our current leader, Brody Iverson. Back to you, Marco.
Yes, another fantastic background on our new race leader so far. So will he stay out or will he go into the pits? We saw some drivers elect to pit on the second or third lap of caution, trying to maximize their fuel strategy by topping up at the last moment possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if he picked to go into the pits. He is also sporting a very clean livery, reminiscent, even though it's not that livery of the 1990s Sauber F1 livery with the two shades of blue. Let's see, he's keeping the inside line, so maybe he's about to enter the pits. Behind him is Tony Jones, and then Garrett Conrath is in third place. Lane Walker, then Andy Trupiano, and Justin Silma, sorry.
Oh, looks like these guys are coming into the pits now. They might have missed their pit lane guys calling them in the pits, because there's no reason to come into the pits a lap later, because they're going to lose all that track position they just gained.
Yeah, apparently that's what's going on, and there are 4 of them heading for the pits, including
Perhaps at a big event like this, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 400,000 fans, they wanted to get their sponsors out there, get some TV time, start. And sometimes they used to say as just to start and park.
Oh, we could have some starting parkers here. We could have starting parkers. Very good point.
Going back to something I was talking about earlier, both the Benetton guy and the Renault guy pitted together, so maybe they are working together. I don't know. Let's see. Keep an eye on that.
Great observation there, Marco. That's absolutely.
Well, since we're under yellow again, we might take this opportunity to go to a quick commercial break, if that's all right, Marco.
Absolutely.
Freddy's Teddies. If you get unsteady, get ready. Get a Teddy. Freddy's Teddies. And we're back.
Thank you very much. Back from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are in lap 21 out of 50 of the Dinners with Racers Continental Tire Cup, round 2 of the championship. Brody Iverson, your race leader so far. Justin Tillman, Aaron Bean, Anthony Hyatt, and Brandon Card. Round up your top 5, even though, well, it's very difficult to put a finger on the strategies so far, because most of these drivers are on their own strategy more or less, so it's going to be interesting to see how they are positioned from now until the end of the race, how much fuel they have left, how many pit stops will they do. So it's all a big question mark how this race is going to evolve. I'm thinking, by the way they are having so many cautions, that I would think that track position is so important, which is something that it's not very usually you want to say when you have Skip Barbers in Indianapolis, a lot of drafting, lots of passes, but it seems like the constant amount of cautions that there are, it's very tough to make up positions, because we are halfway through the race, basically almost, lap 22 out of 50, and we still haven't basically had a proper green flag run, only a couple of laps of green, and with only half of the race left or a bit more, that's going to be tougher and tougher to get a good green flag run in. I think we have this lap and one more out of pacing, so we can enjoy this beautiful view from high above Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and of course enjoy all the beautiful details of the infield of this fantastic racetrack.
Looks like we've got Justin Stillman up in the P2 right now. He comes from Ithaca, New York. He is a male, and his nickname is Justin Stillman. So, not the most creative nickname I've ever heard, but that's Justin Stillman.
Yeah, and you can see we are looking back at him from Brody Iverson's car, that white Skip Barber.
I actually just got a note from Race Control that from here on out we'll be going to single file restarts, so hopefully that can help us keep everything a little bit cleaner.
Very nice. As you can see, all the marbles that are sitting there outside of the racing, proper racing line, and that is always something that you want to keep an eye on. So, cars are lining up. I don't know if we are going green.
Oh no! We got a crash in the back already!
Oh, this is insane.
Penske tumbling.
Oh, that is a
Such a
massive
strong
crash.
start.
Oh, look at that. Oh man, that is absolutely a terrible crash. So,
Oh, Alex Ripstein, who we were talking about earlier.
Ripstein. So I guess
Looks like we're back under yellow here. With,
the switch to single file restarts didn't work out in the end, or at least didn't work
just
out
makes
this
you think
time.
that Brody Iverson was manipulating the pace of the safety car there coming to the green.
Could have been.
Oftentimes they try to play some games and bunch those in the back of the pack up. We have 40 drivers in the race today, and
He might have learned that back at Rock Valley College or at the Guilford High School where he grew up in Illinois. But who knows? That's Ripstein style. Or no, Iverson style. Hey, we got P4 keeping those tires warm. Or no, P5. Who's that? Who we got there? We got Brandon Carl.
That's a
Oh,
great...
he's about to get by the pace car, but it goes right through him. Interesting.
Yes, the space car is beautiful because you can drive through it. I remember back in the day, it was the days of NASCAR 4 made by Papyrus. Some of these guys then transitioned into iRacing. In NASCAR 4, which came out in 2001, the pace car was solid, but not like other cars. Sorry, it was like concrete solid. So if you try to hit the pace car, your car would basically explode. You would destroy everything. So, and that wasn't ideal, of course. So for NASCAR racing 2002 and 2003, they switched to a transparent pace car, and that remained since basically also in iRacing, which is nice because sometimes the pace car caution comes out, like I said, for example, in turn 2 of an oval, and the pace car comes out straight away and then goes like 300 miles an hour, and we are pacing, and you see in your rearview mirror all of a sudden this lightning, this train, and that's the pace car, and it never ceases to scare me every time it happens. But then luckily it is transparent, so it goes through everyone, and sometimes it's so quick it will actually hit the wall coming out of turn 2 when it's trying to catch up to the field. So, but usually this doesn't happen a lot in Indianapolis because it's a very, very long pace lap, so the pace car can afford to not be super quick, as Cox there goes for a little bit of a run into the grass, but we are under pacing, so everything is okay.
And whatever they can do to get us back to racing as quickly as possible, so a fast safety car definitely will help. It looked like Zabelski really getting up on the safety car there, maybe catching a little bit of a slipstream, trying to save some fuel, perhaps. You're right, Benjamin Cox not respecting his tires going into the grass like that.
No, absolutely not. And like you guys are saying, and you guys have the racing expertise to prove it, you have to respect your tires here in Indianapolis. So if you don't, well, it's tough to get a good result out of on this racetrack, especially as yeah, we are officially into the second half of the race, and let's say that pacing has been the name of the game today, which not surprising me, but I was expecting more green flag running from these guys, as everyone goes in the pits in the top 3. Other guys are following as well.
It looks like if we were to go green flag from here to the end, it would still need a splash of fuel in there. So I don't think anybody believes that will happen, but that's the situation we're in.
Yeah, I would expect a one-stop race from here on out, considering once again how slowly they have been going for most of the race. So once again, single file restart, which didn't work last time around. Let's see if this time it's better. If I was race control, I would stop calling cautions from now on, just to, you know. Even though from what I'm reading in the race chat, the people are actually here for the cautions, so that's maybe playing into what the fans want, and this is great because race series should listen to the race fans, and people are absolutely enjoying this. Mark Effner, Mark Schmiding, Justin Karcher, Wes Shear, and Jack Shilovsky.
Despite everything that's happened throughout this very hectic race, Mark Hefner's really kept us cool. It feels like all day, and every time we come back, it feels like he's fighting for the lead or in the lead. And on top of that, Lee Lucas after being taken out by the Montoya Ganassi car there, also fighting his way back into the top 10. So definitely some strong contenders coming through here.
And that's the beauty of driving a Penske car, of course. You are always fighting for the win. So
absolutely,
I wouldn't know about it.
The lights are still on as we have Wes Shear heading in for another round of pit stops. We shall see if the lights on the pace car come out or go out or not this time around. Lap 26 starting right now, but no, we will be pacing for at least 2 more laps, sorry, because the lights are still on. And once again, a reminder of the calendar: June the 8th of June, NASCAR Cup at Detroit and IndyCar at Mosport, Williams at Eldora, NASCAR GT3 multiclass somewhere, MX5 at Talladega 4-hour enduro. Then in November, Damage Off Extravaganza, and then TBD racetrack, and then December the 19th we round up the season and the year with a fan choice race. And once again, I urge you to vote for a proper combination. So I think we have 2 teammates sitting in 3rd and 4th, judging by their livery, and then the Ganassi car Tanner Witten sitting in P5. It's like we might have also all this, this big caution time that we are having might promote some talking between drivers. Maybe they will form some alliances as we are getting into the crunch time of this race. As I'm guessing we will go green next time around. We shall know in just a bit when we get to the start-finish line, and we'll see if the pace car turns off its lights. The iRacing pace car getting several... Oh no, the lights are still on, sorry about that. Several laps today, basically, I think around 22-23 laps done by the pace car. Let's see if we are getting ready to go racing or not.
Well, since we're under caution here, Marco, I might take this opportunity. We could probably go to commercial break quickly if that's all right with you.
Absolutely.
Quads Beach Pods. If you want to get into shape for this summer, join Quads Beach Pod program. Start with nutrition. Quads Beach Pod Smoothie Pod. If you like fish, like cod, grab one of Quads Beach Pod fishing rods. If you like the sound of this, join the squad. Quads Beach Pods. And we're back.
It seems like you guys did your homework on the commercials today. The sponsors must be absolutely happy, and we are happy as well because
that's a great. I love Quads Geek Quads because I'm actually a participant, and I've been on the program with the Smoothie Pods for a while now. I've got a couple fishing rods with them, so I've been a part of the squad with Claude, which has been great. So I'm not just a sponsor of the race, but a big fan as well.
pace car lights are off. And this means we are about to go racing, lining up in single file, and with little over 20 laps left. As you can see, lots of cars coming out of the pits. I think those guys are hoping for a run from now until the end of the race without pitting. As we are back to the way we started, with Mark Heffner and Mark Schmieding fighting for the race lead. They were in this situation when the race started, and with 27 laps in the books, they are once again back to first and second place, as we are just one turn away from the restart. Once again, beautiful, beautiful shots of the massive crowd who came here today to enjoy this show.
Finally about to get going green here again with Mark Heffner. Mark Schmieding and Justin Parcher top through right now.
Another great jump by Mark Heffner.
Headed back to the back of the field like might be something going on. That's I can only see the tires in that car.
That's quite a hazardous spot.
That is definitely. So we got a clean start up front. We got Mark Heffner there.
He's swinging here.
Going 3 wide for the race lead. Careful there.
Ooh, getting a little too steep. He actually lost
That was the second orange spot.
And we have a caution, I think. Or not, maybe not. No, we are still green. Sorry about that. Oh, I was so used to cautions that I was calling one. There was no caution. So, Heffner, Parcher, Dodson. Look at that. Side by side, 3 wide for the race lead, guys. This is absolutely crazy. Good run from Mark Schmieding now. Going in the middle and trying to get back to the front of the pack.
some very nice racing.
This looks like I believe so.
Mark, are you getting paid?
I always get paid. Oh well, look at this. The Renault car is also in the hunt for the race win, coming out of nowhere. Look at
6, 7, 8,
Lee.
9 wide. I think we're 9 wide down the back straight.
No, I believe it.
There's the car with no wheels, no bodywork. Just wheels going down there. Back this back.
At least he has nose.
Got Tanner Winton coming back up through the pack after that penalty for turning the leader around. But we got a new leader, Justin Parcher, up to the front.
Oh, it's nice to have some clean green flag laps. Look at Andy Trupiano. He is coming through as well. Here's Lee Lucas, quickest in free practice. Brian Jabelski, P17 for him. Mark Heffner trying to get back to the race lead. It's going to be awfully tough to pull away from the rest of the field today. But looks like the top 4 been able to create somewhat of a gap. Actually, 2.9 seconds.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, the 4 of them just need to start working together. Maybe they can hold that that little gap they have from the rest of the pack there.
Hey, we got Andy Trupiano coming in the top 4 now. He's a male who likes Fortnite video games. Also EA Star Wars, but apparently very And we're
Oh,
back
we have
on
a
the yellow.
caution. Yeah. So I was thinking that maybe they ran away under caution. I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Good
So
point.
lap 30, and we are under caution for the sixth time. I lost track of. Hopefully, in the chat they will be able to help me on this. And yeah, the fourth pace car once again out. And of course, yeah, now we also have a fantastic graphic to tell us that we are under caution on the left side of your screen. Everyone coming in for the stop. So I guess it
think
will be
this
the
is a
last
good
stop.
play here. 20
Yeah,
laps to go.
Oh, Mark.
So I would think that this is the final stop for most of these guys, if not for everyone. Someone is staying out. Benjamin Cox, Nicolas Isidro, Brody Iverson is staying out. James Gouda also is staying out. Anthony Hyatt and Aaron Bean also electing not to pit. So either they are confident in their strategy, or they think that there will be another caution, so they don't need to risk it and pit again and maybe go into the back of the field. As we have once again a beautiful view of the start-finish line. The pits are very, very busy right now, as you can see on the bottom side of your screen. Lap 31 right now. And once again, we are getting ready for another couple of laps of caution, as now some cloud
34
cover.
car there. That is James Gouda, really not respecting his tires. 2 wheels in the grass. Interesting how that will play out for him. He just changed his tires straight into the grass.
And remember, we did talk about Gouda earlier. We weren't sure if it was Gouda like Gouda cheese, but it looks like he comes from Botswana. Hudson, BCC is where he studied. He went to Maple Hill High School.
Didn't learn anything about tires.
Yeah, I guess at Maple Hill High School they do not respect the tires. But he's also a male, enjoys some video games. Big fan of Wood Brothers Racing and Dark Horse Motorsports. So, big sports fan. But we think, personally, needs to respect the tires just a little bit more.
Well, I think I'm surprised we didn't see too much today is drivers not respecting the safety cones, because usually here in Indianapolis, every time you're under caution and you're bored, you just drive a little bit below the white line in turn 1 and 2, and you destroy all of the cones that are there, because the next lap are going to be there regardless, and so then the next lap you hit them again. Look at that, look at how many cones are there. The only problem is that sometimes this can get stuck under your car, and basically they will dive partly below the racing surface, and by the way the physics work, you would be basically like having a big parachute behind your car and be super slow until either the cone pops out of the back of your car, Mario Kart style, or you go into the pits and it gets removed by the very busy pit crews that we have today. Maybe that is why no one is driving through those cones.
So, Marco, it's funny that we talk about how many cautions we've had, because Race Control actually looked into some sponsors of their own. And I believe we have a couple commercials that Race Control wanted to implement if guys are getting a little out of hand. If you're okay, we're going to go to a quick commercial break for Race Control sponsorship.
Absolutely, take it away.
Billy's Wet Willies. If you cause too many cautions, you're going to get a wet willy from Billy. Also, Reggie's Atomic Wedgies. If you don't eat your veggies, you're going to get an atomic wedgie from Reggie. And we're back.
Thank you very much. Hopefully the drivers are listening. And one of the perks of being a virtual race car driver is that you can watch yourself on another device or maybe another screen while you race, and you can hear the commentators talk about you or laugh about you, depending on what you are doing, as we have other teammates there in the front of the field. I see a couple of cars sporting the same livery, and I think one of them is James Gouda and the other is Aaron Bean, and they might work together. Well, hopefully they work together, being teammates. So
yeah, especially especially with 17 laps to go. I mean, it's coming down to crunch time, especially if you're outside the top 20. It's going to be tough for you to come through the pack by yourself. So if you're at the back, you know, it takes 2 to tango. So if you can link up with someone, get to the front, you're going to want to do it pretty quickly after we go green here.
Taking 2 to tango. Great concept. It's similar to another concept on super speedway. Is shake and bake.
Is that a good concept, though?
I mean, I'm not a huge baker, but
I think Rodney Sandstorm had a couple new ideas.
what were
Dry and flash fry?
Oh, that's a great concept.
That's not bad, because you don't usually shake before you bake, but you do dry before you flash fry.
That's true. You don't want any moisture in the fryer. But then you could also wave at your teammate before you microwave.
Yeah. The microwave is a great tool to use.
It's fast.
Yep, it's fast. But why are you waving before you microwave it? It's good when you are teammates. Oh, it looks like we got Iverson down in the grass, but maybe he was waving before he puts it in the microwaving.
It's definitely a complicated.
It's a new concept. The guys are probably trying to feel it out.
I don't think you want to do that right before the green flag is about to drop, but you know what do we know? So
well, he's not respecting the tires. We know that. Oh, pace car's in.
Pace car almost cut out the field there as well. They're too wide as we come to the green. A great jump by Brody Iverson. Or was that Benjamin Cox?
He was sleeping at the start there. Benjamin
is that the 10 car?
Drops the feed. Oh, he's just dropping like a stone.
Oh, working together on the highline.
When I say he's dropping like a stone, stones don't float. And if you drop it in the water, it just sinks. And that's what he's doing. He's sinking right to the back of the field right now.
And his teammate even dropped one. Back. Oh, he's.
Looks like the stone roots some wings. He's flapping the big back.
So will we stay green for more than one lap? Looks like riders are trying to sort themselves out as we go 4 wide in the backstretch.
Very exciting. Looks like these guys are keeping it clean in front. They know they need to get inside that laps, 10 laps, and that's when the racing really begins. Justin Karcher did not have a great restart. He's dropped from the top 5 back to the 10. Might have lost a foot in the trap. A little contact up front. Wow, great run on the outside there by Young Iverson. Oh, we got an accident.
That is absolutely terrible for Justin Parcher. He was having a fantastic race. Look at Lee Lucas weave. Also Benjamin Cox involved. He was up front for a good portion of the race. And
Did make it through there cleanly?
Lucas, I think he made it through cleanly, yeah.
Lee Lucas, he's our Grand Canyon guy.
Even though he's only in P20. So
yeah, he's P20. He's definitely dropped back.
We've got a whole new group of front runners compared to the majority of the race. Hefner and Lucas are down in the order. We haven't seen the Rodney leg.
Looks like we do have Anthony Hyatt up in the top 3. First time we've seen him in the top 5. He is a male interested in women. He is in a current relationship. Here
we go.
Going to
Here's
a quick replay.
replay.
We'll get back to him soon.
Looks like Penske gets squeezed in the middle.
Was it? It might have been Penske's fault though.
I don't think so.
Penske's never make mistakes.
No, they don't.
Poor Justin Parcher. He's having such a strong run all day. Here's another replay.
He should have given the Penske car a little bit more room on the outside. Look at this. He had his big check.
That reminds me of the Dario Fouquet's Kumasato years ago.
yeah.
Wow.
Roughly half his.
So, in my opinion, it's never Penske's fault. Look at that also.
That was a spectacular hit by David Poles.
Wow, look at the rolls these cars are making. And like you can imagine, we are under caution. Look at Alan's pace also. From his perspective, oh, it's a big hit.
David did take a big hit. Hope he's doing okay. We know he's from Hyde Park, Massachusetts, in a relationship with Julianne Bosco, favorite athlete LeBron James. So hopefully LeBron's keeping an eye on him. He's going to cheer him up after this day because we know he's had a tough day after that big hit.
Jordan, you know who we haven't seen a lot of has been Tyler Tucker. He showed a lot of promise in reverse in practice, and the car design of Rodney Sandstrom's leg, maybe just a little too much drag there.
It could be. I mean, it's got a great design on it. We know he comes from UCF. He studied at University of Central Florida. Went to Cocoa Beach High School. Currently lives in Cocoa Beach, actually. So, looks like we got some contact in pit lane right now.
That's
on
Brian Briscoe.
Brian Briscoe wasn't the best. That was reversing.
Tyler Tucker through the middle on pit lane.
You know, the cars are actually transparent when you come out of your pit stall, but not when you come in. So people always forget about this, and so we end up with unfortunate situations like we just had. Also,
James Gouda really got caught out with that, but that's unfortunate.
You know, it's also very tough to untangle the ski barbers here on iRacing when they lock wheels. So it takes some maneuvering. They were, in the end, didn't lose too much time, but still very, very tough to untangle these race cars when they collide at such low speeds and gets their tires locked, and there you go. So Shilowski now in the lead, lane Walker, Justin Parcher, Noah Wheeler after being in the back for most of the race, and then Jason Skin round up your top 5. Look at Lee Lucas avoiding that crash with great skills, and now up to P6 as another driver not respecting their tires. Race leader in his all orange machine, putting 2 wheels on the grass for no reasons other than to anger my co-commentators.
Exactly. That is just that's just laziness behind the wheel.
So, a couple of drivers heading in, lane Walker. Lee Lucas also going. So I think that these drivers still are not good on fuel. I would hope they would be after this round of pit stops. Not much time left. Matter of fact, we are on lap 38 out of 50, and we are still we still have to do this lap and at least one more under caution. So it's not unreasonable to think that we will have 10 laps of green flag run, hopefully, to end the race. I'm trying to figure
Drivers
out.
Have been getting used to battling with one another and getting used to communicating with their spotters, so hopefully they have a little bit more awareness. Although mentally, these drivers have got to be getting tired by now. What do you think, Marco?
Oh, well, I wouldn't even imagine, staying under caution for so long. And every time you try to get in a rhythm, the caution comes out and it starts all over again. And the more you go ahead, I think the more you start to second guess your strategy, because you think, well, there will be another caution for sure, and then maybe, or maybe not, who knows. So I'm just guessing that these drivers are hoping to get one nice green flag run. I think also, but that's just my opinion, I think that maybe race control will be a little bit more, hands off with the cautions in this final part of the race. I hope that they want to do to have a green flag end of the race. Even though, and I think I might have read this on the forums in the past couple of days, I think they are looking strongly into getting, finally, I would say, getting green-white checkered into the next build of the simulator come June. So we're still a bit early for that. Of course, also it's Indianapolis. We don't do green-white checkers, but still, I hope that race control want to do a nice green flag and to the proceedings today as the pace car comes onto the start-finish line once again. Will we go green? We will.
Hey Marco, since we're under yellow here, you want to go to a quick commercial break?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Susie's jacuzzis, it can be a doozy. Sometimes when you get a little woozy, hop into a jacuzzi. Don't be choosy.
Susie's Jacuzzis. Also, we have Sherry's Berries. If you find yourself in one of those libraries, get some of Sherry's Berries. Or if you see a canary, get a berry, throw it in Sherry's Berries. If you meet a dignitary or a beneficiary, grab a berry with Sherry's Berries. Sherry's Berries. And we're back.
And we are back, yes. Thank you for another great sponsor, which in Italy we actually call Jacuzzi, because that's the way you pronounce it in Italian. But I know it's an American company, so I will not complain too much about that. So, yeah.
Lights are off here, Marco. It looks like we might be getting ready for the final 10 laps here at the Speedway.
Yeah, look at the leader, trying to get very, very close relationship with the pace car.
Well, he could be trying to save some fuel here. I
Yeah.
mean, that's Jack Shalowski. He's a big sports car racing fan, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to strategy. He's playing the long game, since this has turned into what we have seen to be an endurance race.
The pace car's in.
Pace car is in, and we're green. Very clean start, smooth. Single file so far, but it looks like we got a couple pops going on in the back here. 3 wide going into turn 1. 4 wide.
Probably should have gotten a slight break away from the rest of the pack. Looks like teammates
Oh
lost
boy,
some parts.
very big pass.
Oh no, we got a
man.
car. Ooh, that's
That
It is absolutely not ideal, as... wow.
Hey, we got a helicopter.
Man, oh! Man, oh man. That was absolutely crazy. That car coming into the shot out of nowhere, flipping end over end. That was, I think, warranting a caution. And by the way the cars are behaving, I guess we are under caution, guys.
Looks to be that way, and I believe race control has called for Reggie to come in and give out some of Reggie's atomic wedges.
I don't think Reggie is giving the wedges, is he?
Reggie will arrive.
Reggie's on call.
Reggie's on his way. Also, Billy's Wet Willies is support, so he might be showing up in a couple hours.
So, in real life, does it ever happen that, you know, when after a race you had too many cautions, race control gives a slap on the wrist of the drivers, or it's just my imagination?
Yeah, I think it's been a while for us, but yeah, I think especially when you're in a younger series, in the feeder series, especially in go-karting, if there's too many accidents or something, at your next drivers meeting, they'll sit everyone down and kind of give you a talking to calm down on track.
Well, last Sunday, so basically 1 week ago, I was doing some marshalling for the Italian F4 Championship, and they had 2 races on Sunday, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, and having 34 Formula 4 cars driven by, you know, kids coming at you, and in basically the most dive bomb prone corner of the track with a wet surface, no less.
Oh man, it's never gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got some some words from race control, because they in race 3, which was 30 minutes plus 1 lap, I think they did 4 laps of green flag racing. So, including
looks like we got the leaders coming in with just 9 laps to go. Jack Shalowski's made the call to come in from the lead. Always a tough decision.
I don't know why. Why do you think they're making this call here?
Maybe they weren't respecting the tires.
And then their tires are just not
They could be just
giving them anything back right now.
Looks like he's coming into his box. Number 51 following him in. Looks like all the lead cars are coming
He's
in.
very far from the pit wall.
Well, I think he's got a very large inside tire.
Yeah,
Very big guy.
You must have compensated with the food.
Yeah, the clothes. There's the car that we can only see the nose cone and the tires on, the number 77. There's no bodywork on the car. You see what I'm talking about? I don't see it. You just see the tires.
Sitting right behind the Ganassi car, this particular car you're talking about, and that is Davis Trask sitting in third place, Tanner Witten in second. The leader, with just a few laps to spare, is Eric Müller, and I would guess, judging by how many cautions we've had, the caution laps, and my terrible math skills, that next caution will end the race. So you want to get track position. These guys at pitted right now, they must have been really struggling for fuel, because I wouldn't think of any other reason to drop your track position in order to get a pit stop done this late in the race, with the way the drivers have been behaving so far in this particular race.
So where would you want to be if you were on track right now? I feel like outside the top 6 or 7, you're going to be pushing really hard, taking all the risks. So we could see a yellow flag come out here pretty shortly. There's a couple cars, funnily enough.
No, I think also those guys, so they were short on fuel apparently.
We've been talking all day about respecting the tires, but it feels like these guys have not been respecting the fuel as much as we expected to come into play here today.
Great point, Jordan.
I think that I would love to be like in 5th place, something like that right now, because I'm afraid that usually the way it works, I mean, unless you have a caution straight away, which might be entirely possible, if you start from 1st, 2nd place, you might be overwhelmed as a lot of drivers. Like we were saying, you might be overwhelmed by the cars behind you with the draft. So maybe P5 might be the place to be. So I'm looking at David Pauls, Aaron Bean, maybe also Jeff Cross, as they try to sort themselves out. We still have at least a couple of more laps of pacing. So once again, I'm quite confident it's going to be the last restart, this one.
And who do you like right now? I mean, we're not used to seeing any of really the top 7 guys at the front. James Gouda is the only one that's really been consistently up there. Who do you like right now?
One of those guys that we haven't talked about, I think DeMonte Dodson, sitting in P7. He has been quiet for the entirety of this race, and now he finds himself in one of those good positions I was talking about a few minutes ago, the back end of the back end of the top 10, P7, also the mid part of that particular group of cars. So if you can get a good run and on the restart, you might gain many positions. The only thing I'm a bit concerned is, or that I would think about, is how early do you want to get to the front? Do you want to get to the front early, so in case a caution comes out, you are in the lead and the race is over? But also there's the other way, because if you are in the front, let's say with 3 laps to go, you are very prone to being then you the victim of the good slipstream from the cars behind you, and then all of a sudden being back to 3rd, 4th, 5th position, if not even behind. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we go green until the end, and hopefully race control forgets the caution button for this final 6th lap of the race. The lights are off and we are starting double file, by the way, by the looks of things.
Yes, if we've learned anything from racing so far today, we pretty much can guarantee a yellow within about 1 to 1.5 laps.
Yeah. So we might see one more yellow before the end here, but hopefully you guys can keep it clean. We got a half lap left of caution on this one. Hopefully, looks like actually looking closely on the outside road goes 3 or 4 teammates. Looks like they might be in Martini colors.
Valvoline.
I think it's Valvoline colors.
Oh, yeah. Not as cool as Martini, but okay.
It looks like we have the leg here.
Oh, there's the Rodney leg.
That's Tyler Tucker, P11. That's the highest he's been on all day, so I have a little interest here.
With those calves that he's got on that.
Yes, those calves.
They're not built for strength, you know that.
Just shaved.
They might be shaved. We don't see a lot of hair on them. We're green. May not look like it, but they are. Yeah.
Someone going under the apron. Wow, look at that. This is not Phoenix, guys. Is that legal? Oh!
People trying it out in practice.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. The big one. We had one in the first lap. And now we have one on the 45th lap. Absolutely amazing.
Don't you have the valve?
The picture side by side. Who's 24?
So, who was in the lead when the caution came out? As the caution lights are out, so the race is over. Let's see who won the race.
Wait, it's over?
I think it's over, more or less, judging by how many pace laps we did earlier and you know how long it takes around here. I think it's over. If it's not over, we have just one lap.
Yeah, Walker passed under yellow, I'm pretty sure, didn't he? We've been talking about Gouda all day. Ripstein even up in the top 5 lane.
But you were right, Marco. DeMonte with a great
That was aggressive.
great move at the end, pulling out the inside.
That was, let's say I have never seen anything like that in my commentating career.
Can we get a replay of the last incident just to see who was out front when the accident started to unfold?
This is starting to feel a lot like Elio Castroneves, Paul Tracy, Indy 500 from a couple of years ago.
Which you can listen about on Dinner with Rachel with Paul Tracy.
Here we should go to a replay very, very soon.
I'm not able to find a whole lot of information on Lane Walker. I found one who lives in Ocala, Florida, actually. Also a male. A lot of males in this race.
Lane Walker. I think Lane really snuck his way to the lead there under caution.
It all kind of got a little ugly when DeMonte made the best.
What we need is that camera shot of part.
I can hear Alex in the back furiously trying to find that replay. Oh dear, that doesn't
Sounds
play
like we may
nicely.
be having some technical difficulties with the replay system. But
It was so big
like
that I think it cut off some of our cameras, and that is
do you
not
feel it
ideal.
even shaking you in Italy?
Yes, absolutely. It was so
Like
big,
earthquake.
it was heard up even here in Italy, and I mean, but it goes to show the commitment of these drivers to get a good result in front of this capacity crowd. They tried everything, but in the end, only one can win, and I think that Lane Walker, in the end, is the guy that prevailed. Now, I'm not sure, because I think the race should be over, but we might get one lap shootout in the end. We shall see.
that would
Let's see.
spectacular.
For the
Depends.
fans,
Depends to see. We need to see when the caution came out, basically. Because
here's the restart again.
Here we
So
go.
Lane Walker was at the front for the restart,
Yeah, Lane Walker might be our actual leader. There's DeMonte. There goes Leighton House down the
and from what I'm hearing, that is absolutely legal. So very nice move.
on the high side right now.
Oh, we have Valvoline side by side right in the middle. Could have had
Oh. So my guess is that that car on the inside line was the leader, but being involved in the wreck, of course, because if he could have somehow avoided that, he was clearly the car in the lead, or not clearly, but I think he was the car in the lead.
Dropped back because Lane Walker did drop back and then went and passed everybody. So I'm not sure how that's going to
It
work.
depends on how early race control threw the caution, because once the cars went sideways, Lane Walker was right up there by the lead.
Interesting. Lane Walker comes from the plains, it appears.
24 hours.
Not sure where that is. Elias Harper coming from Ohio. Now we're back with Lane Walker.
As we are using a very
Restart again.
yeah.
Oh, DeMonte even touched someone there.
This is a great view here from the top.
Nothing worse. We move back to the old ways of doing this, as we can see from the chopper.
Do you think that was intentional? Do you think he was a base?
The guy behind him. Yep.
Look at that orange
Contact.
flag.
Time. But like you said, they put together.
Sign that.
Let's see.
I mean, that was super close between Walker and that Benetton car, but that car then got into the wall after touching with Walker, so I think...
I think the pace car lights are out, Mark. Or are they? Are the pace car lights out?
I'm trying to think we will go back to green, you know?
Guys, this is a real treat.
This,
We are in store
this
for...
is gonna be amazing.
This is a dash for... Not
Not
cash,
cash, but maybe a chicken sandwich.
And I should remind you that in the final lap of the race, there can be no cautions on iRacing. So we will get a green flag finish no matter what. So double file restart, and after 50-yard laps of racing and pacing, it all comes down to just one.
Alright, this is gonna be interesting. The Valvoline boys are up front. They played a smart race all day. Track conditions been in their favor. We've also got Gouda.
And we have Tyler Tucker up there in P5. P6. Lining up in the outside.
And Penske just inside of him.
Wow, this is...
All the big hitters are up front. Jack Shalowski, 14th. I mean, if he's got a clean restart, there's a mess in the front. He's still got a chance at a good finish here. Steve Lavender, I believe he had a Rodney Sandstorm paint scheme as well. Haven't seen much of it.
My prediction is someone from outside the top 10 is going to win this.
Bold,
That's a bold statement
bold,
there.
Marco, bold.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody tries to pull the apron and exit maneuver.
They all go down.
Here we go.
A great restart by Lane Walker, but now I'm just having a strong run on it.
Jostling for positions. This is so white flag is in the air, by the way.
bad shift there from Lane Walker. Oh,
That's got a great run. That is.
wait, what happened? Is it over? Is Mark
Hefner
Hefner?
running the apron.
I'm not sure what's happening here.
I have absolutely no idea.
I think
He's off the pace, but we still have Lane Walker and James Gouda battling it out at the front, but they're off the pace.
Lane Walker just saying to the rest of the field, if you can't handle the heat, take off the apron, get out of the kitchen. James Gouda now up front, but at very slow pace.
Oh,
No
it's
idea.
Lane.
So we might have a finish race here. Lane Walker coming on strong.
Oh, here comes the safety
Here
car.
comes the safety car just mowing down people. Look at him. He just has no care in the world. Got his lights flashing. That Mustang.
But you know what's critical here is,
Mustang.
despite being the white flag, Lane Walker's respecting his tires.
Oh, that's a great point. We haven't touched on the respecting the tires in a little while. And if anyone's been respecting them all day, it's been Lane Walker.
I have absolutely no idea why the caution was called. I know that there was some drama in the back, but being the last lap, I was expecting them to, race. And the pace car wins apparently. I'm reading from the race direction message there.
Definitely
So-
led the most laps of the day.
We got some people.
Got a nice,
They're pitting-
nice little photo
they're
here
pit
coming
lane.
across the line.
Gotta be careful not to pass drivers who should be behind, otherwise it's a nice one lap penalty. And you're sent to the back of the pack. These drivers don't seem to care except for the leader who is safely.
And the checkered flag is out. We got Walker with the win, Bean, Gouda, Gross, Ripstein, and Tucker.
Wow, what a race. I mean, we had everything, lot of crashes, lots of controversy, some daring moves in the end. And now it seems like they are racing again.
Yeah, maybe we just make our own little green white checker here.
This is lap 51 that they're on, and
And
they're
still racing.
We have to appreciate how much these guys love racing and love to entertain the fans.
Oh,
Going out of
Penske
their
going
way.
around.
Oh,
by himself.
wow.
Oh,
I think
Oh,
the
dear.
passion is outweighed by the.
I think we're just seeing some frustration. Some of these guys didn't get the racing they wanted in today and taking it out on each other.
Lane Walker. What a performance today!
Very respectful of tires. That guy's not respecting the cones. That guy's not respecting his competitor. Pace car's not respecting that guy. Just a whole lot of respect going around.
Yeah, I mean, but it's with all the tension the drivers have to endure today, it is understandable. What really matters today is that the crowd wanted cautions, they got them. The crowd wanted controversial finishes. We got a controversial finish with a very, very wrestling style yellow to end the race.
I
And
think James Gouda will be reviewing this for years to come as well, as does Paul Tracy.
And people thought the Kentucky Derby was controversial, but I think this is a whole nother level.
Lane
Lane Walker celebrating, or is he out of fuel?
He had a fuel because he didn't respect the fuel, but he's still respecting the tires.
in Europe
could be
we are dealing with the new technology in soccer, the VAR video reviews. So, and I know
Wow,
that
looks like-
really came into play into the Kentucky Derby last week, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Absolutely.
Looks like America really dominated this event.
Yeah,
We've
look
only
at
got
that.
One outsider in John M. Roberts
yeah,
from the UK and I. Maybe
Yeah, which-
Ireland?
yeah, but still, drivers from that particular region get all put into the same club. But yeah, the final results: Lane Walker is your race winner, in front of Aaron Bean and James Gouda.
Seconds.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's the biggest lead of the whole day.
Jeff Gross and Alex Ripstein round up your top 5. Then Tyler Tucker, Tobias Harper, and Brody Iverson in P8. Chris DeShong in 9th, and Justin Parcher rounding up the top 10. Then Lee Lucas in 11th, Jack Shilowski in 12th. Steve Lavender, Mark Effner, and John M. Roberts in the top 15. Then Tanner Witten, Brian Jabelski. Justin Stillman is your driver in P18. Apologies. from the state of New York, 8.5 seconds back from the race lead. Of course, this has been caution finishing, so the gaps are not very representative, but still. Benjamin Wedge in P19, then Jason Skin, Tony Johnson, Benjamin Cox, Mark Schmiding, disappointing, only P23. Gareth Conrad, 24th, and Wes Shear is in 25th, and Ryan Cobb and Nicolas Isidro, Chris Sweat and Noah Wheeler, David Pauls, DeMonty Dodson with the best move of the day that almost worked, Eric Mueller, Anthony Hyatt, Alan Space, Davis Trask, Brandon Carl, Andy Trupiano, and then the retirees, Matt Shinosky, Tyson Landis, Sean Heckman, and Marky Smith. I think these last two guys provided admin for the race, therefore they didn't take part in the actual proceedings, and that is it for this fantastic race. I think we can also bring in the man behind the stream and the man behind the cameras, Alex Simpson. Alex, I hope you enjoyed being behind the cameras for this one.
Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, I enjoyed that. A lot of fun. Some great racing out there, I have to say. Wheel to wheel, all the way through, all 50 laps, nose to tail. Never thought we'd see anything like it.
Yeah, I mean, and this championship continues to deliver after the fantastic Bristol event. And this one, once again, we invite you in 1 month's time at the Belle-Isle round, which will be contested with NASCAR Cup cars. And of course, I want to thank you, Dinner with Racers, for giving us this fantastic opportunity. Jordan and Ricky Taylor for joining us in the booth today. You guys absolutely made my day.
Thank you, Marco. It was fun.
It's been a great day, Marco. It was great working with you. I think it was a great race. We saw some very aggressive moves. I think the storyline was DeMonte coming on strong late, taking that big risk, but ending up 31st. But I think showing a lot of promise for the rest of the year.
So, Alex, I think there will be no interviews today. Correct me if I am wrong.
Well, no one's come for one, so I'm guessing not.
Okay, so on behalf of myself, Alex, Jordan, and Ricky Taylor, and everyone here, Dinner with Racers, thank you for watching us today. I wish everyone, as per usual, a good night and happy racing.